Hello, this is Achilleas Kokkinakis, and you are listening to the Marvel Card Collectors podcast.
Hello, everybody. My name is Ian Taylor, and you are listening to the Marvel Card Collectors podcast, your weekly digest of hobby goodness, brought to you by the Marvel Cards Fan Collective, an awesome community of card collectors and creators. You can find our two groups on Facebook, details of which are at the end of this podcast, so come check us out. With me, as always, is my co-pilot in all things Marvel cards. Consider yourself at home. Consider yourself one of the family. We've taken to you so strong. It's clear we're going to get along. Consider yourself our mate. For after some consideration, we can state, consider yourself one of us. Knowing rad.
Wow. That was actually really nice.
That was good, wasn't it?
That was really good. I can't sing for a lick of anything. So
well,
that is,
it's all that theatre training that I did was clearly
I think worth
wasted.
it. I've enjoyed it.
Oh, thank you.
I thought it was nice. I really
thank
did,
you.
Actually.
The emphasis there on consider yourself.
Oh, that was good.
That was good.
It was good. I definitely smirked when you did it. I was like, this guy.
Yeah.
That's what he's doing. This guy.
Yeah, I won't lie. I had that idea when I was on the toilet earlier. So as most of my ideas.
All my ideas come when I'm on the toilet.
You know what? I think I might have actually activated the first Facebook group while I was sitting on the toilet. Such is the joy.
I would not be surprised at all.
I mean, you would, wouldn't you?
No, I do it all the time.
Start a Facebook group. Yeah, why not?
Why not?
Why not?
Half of the clubhouse meeting that was happening on the Facebook group was on the toilet. So it was really good times.
Oh.
No,
I've still not done one of those.
They're actually nice. Matt does a great job of them.
Right. Okay.
I think Dre was co-hosting the last one too.
Oh, really? Are they just kind of like audio chat? Can you see each other? Or is it just audio?
No, we can't. We send dirty pictures to each other, but we can't see each other like FaceTime. So it's just mostly audio. Right. Yeah. So, yeah, I mean, whatever.
It's old school.
Yeah. Once you've seen one naked Marvel card creator, you've seen them all. So,
well, not all Marvel card creators are
creators and collectors
are created equally. Anyway, hello everybody. How have you been, my friend? What's been happening in your world, and what might the intro to this episode have been alluding to?
Well, they're definitely alluding to the Culture Collision Con that I went to in Atlanta, and where I actually got to meet some of these devilishly handsome gentlemen in person for the first time, which was insane.
Wow. So you actually went to a real life con with real life people.
It was crazy. I kept expecting people to have like a frame around their head and a keyboard where I'd have to chat to them. But no, yes, it was all in person. It was actually really great. So it's about 6 hours for me.
Okay.
So I drove, which I should not have done because I do driving for 6 hours. It's not fun. And I did not know what to expect because it was definitely odd to meet. Like I just, especially COVID, you know what I mean? I was kind of like, I'm vaccinated, booster up, all that kind of good stuff. Yeah. And I still played it safe. And, because I don't want to get the wife sick and all that kind of stuff. I don't want to do anything like that. But, so we were talking about going, and some people had mentioned that they were going to go for sure. And then Spidey Jew was like, we should do something nice. So many people are going. And then the list kind of kept building. So we want to like show everybody. So I made these T-shirts for everybody and put everybody's logos on the back. And there were actually people who were fans of the podcast there too, which was crazy. Oh, wow. Yeah. So they were like, where's Ian? And I was like, we are going to get Ian out in of England. We're going to get him down here because and it's leading to a bigger conversation now, which is something I want to mention, where I definitely think there should be a con for all of us, group, everybody, and kind of make it like one of the biggest Marvel outings, because I'll be honest with you, I don't think there's ever been a card show in history that had that many Marvel cards, unless they were promoting like 1992 Marvel Masterpieces, would you just go,
Yeah.
but I've never seen everyone brought the craziest cards.
Really?
I mean, there were cards I've never seen in person that are so rare that were just sitting in cases, Jim Lee autos, vibranium bars, PMGs,
Nice.
ambers, royals, like all the stuff that's going crazy was just sitting in cases.
All the hot sauce. Yeah.
All the things that people are losing their minds about now were there. And it was just so I basically got there, dropped off my bag in the room, went straight down because I was, the show had just opened by the time I got there.
So did you travel? So you traveled on a Friday, didn't you? Is that right?
Yes. So the show started at 1,
Okay.
2, and then 1 was VIP entrance type of thing.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
And Spidey, Jew, and Kent, Marvel Guy.
Marvel Guy 239. Yeah.
Yes. They both kind of got tables. They got me a vendor pass, as kind as they were. And so I get there and I see the conference, I see the collision thing. I'm like, oh boy, here we go. Let's see what the show's about. I was really excited. I still am kind of buzzing from it because it was just really fun. And here comes Marvel Madness, Joshua. Just like you expect him to be while talking to him, he is just the same way in person, 120% excitement and very genuine. Comes bursting through the door. He's like, hey! And, big hug, got the badge. And, so he's the first one on the list. We go in there and coming up to the table. And who do I see but the good looking man himself, stacking gems, sitting down, very much kind of, you know what I mean? Very cool, very, very slick. And then there's Scandal hot over stuff. And I see them and it's just like big hands up in the air, like, hey, how's it going, man? Like we all knew each other. And then Marvel Guy was there. So I went to go see Ken, and that was a blast. He had the live feed going on for a long time. So you can see my big dumbass walking up towards because of course I'm like, I'm really tall and everyone's laughing at that. And Scandal and I look practically the same. And then Spidey Jew and Brian, who's a buddy of his from Louisiana, come in kind of a little bit later because the time difference. So they lost an hour. We thought we'd all get there around the same time, but with the time difference, we kind of messed that up. And he shows up, he's there, and he sees me, great big hug. We all say hi to each other. And it's kind of a crazy experience because like I've had my fair share of problems with a lot of people, and I've definitely have my opinions about Marvel and where everything is going for sure. Mm-hmm. And, I was going to draft up a letter, but I've actually been kind of off social media a little bit in terms of posting content because I've just been kind of tired of all the backlash and not really clear on where my head is lately. But I really needed that show because, it's funny. Like, and I've had problems with, people in other groups. I mean, I'm banned from one group just because someone dislikes me, which is weird.
No, join the club, mate. Join the club.
Yeah. You know what I mean? It's, which is strange, which is strange, but, and, I've known a lot of people and there were a lot of spats on there and different things. And, one collector reached out that, there was a whole thing on the group that apologized through text, and, other people who, apologized for just things that were happening. But I have to say, like, seeing those guys in person, like, I feel like if I saw other people in person, whoever it is, really, it's so nice because there's this strange moment where, and I don't mean to get too melancholy, but man, you can really see that all these guys and ladies collected when they were kids. And that's the craziest thing in the world. Cause I remember and you don't even have to collect when you're kids, and collect when you're now, but all of us kind of share that little thing where we looked at a Marvel card and we're like, oh, hello, hello there. You know what I mean? Where it's just kind of like, man, look how cool that card is. And you can see everybody just looking at cards and just like, you can recognize the look that you have in other people.
Yeah.
And it was really touching. It was really cool. And it was really, and I know people have bad trades, good trades, bad experiences, and there's a mixed lot of people. And I get that there's a lot of stuff going on. And, I met Phil LaMonica too, which was super bizarre because I've known Phil for years. And Phil can be divisive. sometimes with the trades and stuff like that. I know. But it was fun, and it was really nice too. And it was weird because it was weird. It made me realize that so much of this online stuff is stupid.
Yeah.
And it really is a bad thing, because you don't know what mood you're getting someone on that day.
Mm-hmm.
You don't know what people are doing in their personal lives, where they, a couple bucks is a lot on a deal that makes them not want to do the deal, or like, a trade because they are so attached to the card. They like can't let it go. And it's crazy. And I've complained about people a lot. And so I've done that. But you know what? It was nice. It was really nice, man. Like, I want to meet everybody now. Like, this is a really deep burning desire to like get everybody together. And I know there will be problems and personalities and all that kind of stuff, but it's a weird thing. Like, I guess it never really hit me fully that we are able to have a community of people who like something collectively. And I know that's strange. It's so stupid, right? I mean, it's been like that for years now. You and I have known each other for years and always talk cards and personal stuff, and close friends. But man, it was weird, like hugging my friends, you know what I mean, who I've known for years and never actually have seen. And, having dinner with them and like trade nights and laughing at stupid like stories, and like, it was nice. It was really nice. And I kind of want I want us all to be able to share that, because I have a lot of friends in the group that I still haven't met in person who I'm dying to hang out with.
Yeah.
I don't know. It was nice. I guess like it's also like when you're really hungry and you eat whatever, you know what I mean? You're like, yes, because it's been the pandemic. So that's probably why I'm being extra emotional. Yeah. It's probably why I'm being extra emotional about it, but maybe not. Maybe I really do feel like it was an eye-opening moment, and it was nice.
Good. Because I know before, when we were in the first year of the podcast, you went to a show. This was pre-COVID, and that was when you met Ron Lim and J. Michael.
Yeah, Galaxy.
And I know that you, just because of how you are with like big crowds and stuff, you found that a bit overwhelming and intense. Yeah. So how was this one? I guess with this one, you weren't on your own, were you? You were with kind of.
It was weird. Like
your crew, your boys.
Yeah, I mean, I met Tom Fleming there and Ron Lim, which was just, Tom Fleming's just such a nice guy. Like, this was at the last con you went to. Yeah? This was at the Galaxy Con. Yeah. There were no artists at the card show in Atlanta. But it was weird because so a couple of different parts, but like what you're saying, yeah, I didn't feel overwhelmed or anxious. I was definitely quiet because I was definitely taking it all in, and I had some personal stuff happen, like beforehand, before I left to family stuff, which wasn't great. Mm-hmm. And then going to the show was really nice to help me like clear my head and stuff like that. But it felt like my friends were there. You know what I mean? Like, it was really bizarre. It was really bizarre. And I have good relationships with a lot of people, which I'm very grateful for. Gosh, so much of the reason why I'm in this hobby is because I feel like I do have tons of friends in this hobby who are very good to me and very kind. It was different. I feel like that's kind of what I'm thinking about for like the next thing that happens. You know what I mean? Like with you and other people, like there has to be something in the future where we can just have that meetup and have that time together. Because I think everybody, it would be awesome, especially with like things that are happening with PayPal and trading and all this other stuff. There really should be something in person for a lot of us Marvel card collectors. But no, I was definitely less anxious. They had tables so I could sit down. Like it definitely felt like taken care of, and we all kind of took care of each other, and it was nice, man. It was really great.
Very cool. Because I remember, because that's interesting, because is it a tax change that PayPal have to abide by in the US?
Yeah, so there's like a new thing now. Something? Yeah, so friends and family, goods and services, there's taxes that are going to be done now, and they got to report their your transactions with the government. Like, there's a whole little thing. I don't know the details. Do not quote me on this, but this is something that's kind of happened recently. And what I didn't realize about card shows, was how genius they are because it is cash. So if you have an item there and you don't want to like worry about it getting lost in the mail or traded or anything like that, being at a show is like, and I know this is probably other people here are like, yeah, duh. But this is my first like card show really, where actually, and I sold cards. I made like $500.
You mentioned that. Yeah.
Yeah. I was really happy with that. I made 500. I brought some extra stuff here. I gave tons of packs away to kids, which is really cool.
Oh, that's nice.
I had 3 1990s packs and 3 1992 Marvel Universe packs.
Cool.
And yeah, just giving them to kids and their faces lighted up. Joshua gave a 92 pack away to a kid and the kid opened up a Venom hologram.
Oh, nice.
And to see his face and the kid just be like, what? Like, cause it's like, it's very sports heavy. And we had like tons of Marvel tables compared to, I'm sure, what any other show's ever had. And it was also really cool. Like, and I should say from the standpoint of like the popularity of Marvel cards and where things are going, there are a lot of people very, very interested. A lot of people making big moves, a lot of like influencers on YouTube that are like on YouTube. That's like sport card influencers. Roth Cards. Neo was there. That was crazy. Flippin' Steve. Neo Cards and Neo is so nice. He was a gem. Steve was great too. Just nice people. Oh, we also met the great curator, which was kind of cool. Nice guy.
So flipping Steve, did you say?
Flipping Steve is his name. Yeah, it doesn't match the personality because Steve is really sweet.
Okay. And the great curator.
The great curator, which sounds really grand.
Names, I've got no idea who any of these people are.
I know. It sounds really grand, but Dan was super sweet and kind. Merlin was awesome.
Who?
Merlin. So he
Merlin. Is this Arthurian legend or something like that?
I know. It's really funny. But like it's kind of crazy because all these guys, have real jobs, real families, real lives. Yeah. And they're just, really like the hobby, or they sell cards for a living, or, they do this kind of work quite frequently. So it's kind of crazy. It's crazy when you meet these people in person and you kind of like sit down, have some appetizers, have a trade night, or like, just I think that was my favorite part. It wasn't necessarily the card show, which was awesome. Oh, we also met sports card investor. Oh, Hammer. So Tyler works at Sports Card Investor, which you might not know about, and I'll show you links. But they have a huge YouTube channel. They make like market movers application. They do quite a lot with sports cards and sports card content, buy cards and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Kind of a big company there. And we got to meet the head of the person who's the head of it, who's really nice, Jeff. And Tyler, who is a buddy of ours, went to the same university as me in Miami, by the way, which was hilarious. Wow. So we were dying because I was laughing because I was like, he said something. I was like, FIU. And he was like, yeah. And we just clicked. But Tyler was super nice. And he was great because the people one of the big sponsors of the show is Sports Card Investor. Okay. So, you know what I mean? They're there to like sponsor a big part of the show. They put on panels, and he really kind of made sure that we were kind of like seen by everybody and kind of talked about, because Marvel cards is so new for some of these people. They're not quite sure and they're a little confused. And so it was a lot of educating, a lot of like spreading the word and like being like, hey, spreading the word sounds so religiously. But it was fun to have conversations with card collectors, because all card collectors are the same, right? Across any genre, they're all the same. You know what I mean? It's the portableness, it's the uniqueness of the card, it's all that stuff. Yeah. We've had tons of conversations with creators who've collected other things than Marvel, and it's always cool to see these other pieces of collections. And it was really cool to see them gravitate to it. It was really cool to see them kind of immediately immerse themselves in it, buy cards. It was great. It was really fun. I actually picked up 2 cards. The first day, a Venom fighting Spider-Man, the hologram, the H4 hologram, the landscape one.
Marvel Universe.
94,
I want to say. Possibly.
94, 93, something like that.
Yeah, I know there's. Well, I'm still working.
I forget
on
where it
Universe
is.
94, but I don't have the holograms for either of them. So.
I love those holograms. They're so good. I love that. Surfer hologram is my favorite. And so Kent picked up that one and he bought me, it was like $10, $11 and he's so nice. There was a miscut hologram, 1990 Marvel Universe Silver Surfer.
Oh, nice.
So that was fun. So it was cool. It was there as miscut. You know, I think the guy at first thought he had like $100 card just because prices are everywhere. He just didn't know. Yeah. And then I told him I was like, well, I have like 15, don't feel the pressure to sell it to me. I'm only getting it because it has this kind of error on it and it'll be fun and unique. Something for the error collection. So luckily he sold, he was super nice. And then Kent got the hologram and some other stuff. I sold some extra Star Wars cards from the Galaxy box I opened. Nice. Yeah. So there was one guy there who got into, I put him out on the table just randomly. I was actually going to give him away for free. And there was a bunch of inserts in there and, stuff like that. And the guy was like, oh man, you have this. These are like the only Star Wars cards I've seen here. I'm so glad there's something here. I was like, awesome. And the box is maybe like 160 or something like that. Plus I had some other rare inserts in there. And I was like, if you just want to do 100, you can have them all. You know what I mean? So it was like content of a box plus more inserts and it was easy. It was really nice. And he bought them and that kind of happened there.
You're happy. He's happy.
He's happy. Yeah. And he was so glad to like find some Star Wars stuff. And, it was 130 originally and he couldn't find 30. I was like, just give me $100. It's no big deal. It was just nice to like meet someone else who's collecting, Star Wars or Marvel.
Yeah.
And then I finally got the Mephisto base from Marvel Masterpieces 2016.
Oh, nice.
Isn't that crazy? I've been putting that card off for years.
Wow.
And a friend of Spidey's, Justin, Brian, he had it with him and he was like, I don't know if you're interested. And I was like, oh man, maybe.
So that has got Surfer on it, a tiny little Surfer.
Yeah, a tiny little Surfer.
That's right.
A tiny little Surfer.
A tiny little Surfer.
Tiny little Surfer. Jusco did, which looks so good. Because I think that's one of his favorite storylines and mine too, when it comes to Surfer is that Mephisto storyline because it's so good. Very Faustinian. And
that's appropriate.
Basically, yeah, I know. And so we did like a little trade. I forgot. It was late at night. I forgot what it was now. But he was happy, I was happy, and it was done. So that was cool to get that. But man, it was really hanging out with friends. Some of the guys who were there who like this is part of their living. They were like sad they didn't sell more cards. But it was Sasha T, Mojo, Roth cards. Really nice people were there. Big people on YouTube were looking at Marvel cards too, which was kind of cool. But yeah, man, it was really nice, man. It was a really nice experience, especially because like so much of the group lately has been kind of like volatile in terms of like aggression and selling and people trying to look for cards and false identities, like, putting things on Instagram now and people who I know because I recognize their cards are making fake Instagram accounts now to show off the cards for some reason. It's a bunch of weirdo kind of stuff happening, unfortunately. So it was nice to actually like human connection to people.
Yes. I was waiting for you to use the word human.
Yeah, it was nice. It was really cool. It was really cool. And it was really good to meet people in person. I don't know. It definitely gave me a better perspective because right now I think so many people who like you and I have been in this for a long time and people who've been in this in a longer time and longer than us all are just worried about getting ripped off and trying to catch up on the new craze and the new prices. And you know what I mean? There's a lot of, everyone's really tender right now. You know what I mean? Everyone's like an open nerve.
Yeah. That's a good way of phrasing it. That's a good way of phrasing it. I'm going to rewind slightly. The Mephisto, so that's tier 4 Marvel Masterpieces.
Yeah, 99.
So just they're hard numbered to 99.
The base.
So there's only 99 of the silver base out there. Good. All right.
So I got one. They're usually like he wanted to like sell it for like $250. And that wasn't a bad, or 300, something like that. It wasn't a bad price.
Yeah.
Very fair. I just really, I don't know. People ask me all the time, like, I'm really not cheap. Like when it comes to, like, Ian knows this, like if I find something Surfer that's rare, I usually just pay the full asking because I don't like
You just tick it off, get it done, move on.
And get it done and move on.
Yeah.
Like I always pay easy, fast, and done. But, when it comes to cards like that, which is like having an appearance card, where it's not really part of the collection, but it is kind of, because I get bored and I do all the stickers and all that other stuff. You know what I mean? Because I lose my mind at one point or another when I haven't bought something on eBay in more than like 3 days. I told him, I was like, oh man, that's a great price. And if you want cash, you should definitely sell it. I think people would buy that instantly. Yeah. This is what I have for trade. And I traded him a Cian Prowler PMG printing plate.
Oh, you've had that for a while, haven't you? That Prowler printing plate. That's right.
Yeah.
That's a nice plate.
It's the first printing plates of the PMGs of all time. Yes. Like, that's huge. That's a huge deal.
And last, because they didn't do them in Fleer Ultra X-Men, and they in Marvel X-Men Metal Universe, of course, they did have the booklets because the PMGs were the same design as the.
Yeah. That's right. A little weird. Yeah. But so those are there, and they are in the form of booklet. Yeah, that's true. That's true. But I thought it was cool. First one, everyone's into PMGs. I kind of told him what it was, and I think Prowler is a pretty big character. I'm surprised that, he has an MCU. He has like an appearance in movies in Spider-Verse. He's a huge character in the Spider-Man thing. You know what I mean? I think a lot of people are going to hunt him down pretty aggressively in the Spider-Man metal. So, and I mean, printing plate 1 of 1, you know what I mean?
Can't go wrong. You can't go wrong.
It's not bad.
No, that sounds good.
It's good. And the value was the same. I made sure with him a couple of times. I was like, you sure? I know more people are going to be into the masterpieces than printing plates. So I don't want to like stick you with anything. You know what I mean?
Of course. Yeah.
But I've had an offer on that plate for $250 straight up. So I thought, I told him too, I was like, if you want the cash, I'll sell the plate and just give you the cash later. And you can ship me the card. Yeah. So, but it was good. Like, it's very different when you get to talk to people. You know what I mean? It's very different. It's very different. And it's a very different situation, and you're making those connections. And I don't know. It was really eye opening.
That does sound interesting. You mentioned something a couple of times. A trade night. Now I think I know what you mean literally by that, but can I explain why it caught my ear? Is in West End Theatre that I worked in for like 2 decades. A trade night is a definite thing, but it's something different. But it's an everyday part of my vernacular up until very recently, relatively recently in the last few years since I've kind of moved out of that sector in terms of work. But what it is that in London's West End, there are lots of ticket agents that are part of the primary sales network. So unlike America, where all ticket agents are part of the secondary market and you just have one big primary player, which is usually Ticketmaster. In the UK, it's very much a distributed network market of primary players. So you have ticket agents that all work together. And those ticket agents will, when a show is first on and first happening in previewing, come to see what's called a trade night, which is literally where you invite people who are selling the show, other ticket agents, to come and see it, to experience it, so they know what they're selling. Now, obviously, that's based on a very much more legacy thing where people would have to see it to then sell it, because most of the stuff was over the phone. So since the internet age,
right,
it's different. But still, you want to be able to, talk about what you're selling. So trade nights still happen. So that's what I mean by trade night. But I think you mean literally all of you getting together after the show and just trading, I'm guessing.
Yeah, it was actually, that was my favorite part. Really, even the show was fun. Basically, so the first night we were there, it's actually a pretty funny story. So the first night we were there, it was happening at a place called Baker Street, or I forget. I'm sure I'm butcher Beecher, whatever, stupid name that I can't pronounce. That's why it's stupid. It was at like this restaurant place, and they were having a huge trade night there, and it was in the middle of this like huge mall area. Right. And it wasn't a building, it was in like an outside mall. So there were 2 hotels. There was the the one I was in where the conference was, and then the one that was right across the major highway.
Hotel, get you.
I know, I was fancy. I was a fancy bitch. And the hotel across the way kind of had this huge tunnel that connected to it. Mm-hmm. So the people who are in this hotel across the way are Joshua, Scandal, Steven, and Phil, Monica. And they're over there and I'm in my hotel. And I kind of went to my hotel and took a shower, shave, that kind of stuff, kind of relax from the day, that kind of stuff. And then they hit me up and said, all right, we're going to go to this trade night. Do you have a car? Can you come pick us up? And I was like, yeah, I'll come pick you up. So I'm running over there and I go pick them up and we do this massive try to like find this place. We go on this like crazy adventure to find it. Phil's yelling out the window, losing his mind. And everyone else is in the car. We have like huge like Pelican cases of cards and we're just laughing and running through this very busy outside mall with everyone running around. Phil keeps wanting to go to party. Scandal is like trying to figure out what's going on and make a plan. And Joshua's just like going with emotions. And it's really funny to see everybody's reactions to this. And we go in the parking lot, we drive, we have to walk we get to the place and it's packed. Music's super loud. There's no place to sit. It's not fun whatsoever. Like, stacking is like dancing on top of the table or some kind of commotion. So cops are, I'm just kidding. That kind of stuff is happening. And
wouldn't have surprised me.
I would not have been surprised at all. So he's out there doing his stuff. I think Spidey Jew was in there. Justin was in there somewhere. I didn't even see him. And we got there. I walked over there. I looked at the place, old man style. And I'm from Miami, so I should be used to this stuff, but whatever. I look up 36. I look at it. I'm like, and Scandal looks at me because we look similar, which is crazy. Same height, beard, which is just the weirdest thing. And me and him kind of look at each other and we look at the place and I look at him and I'm like, yeah, I'm going to go back to the hotel. Let's have trade night in the lobby. He was like, done. So we did like an hour trying to find this place just to end up in the same hotel. And basically what we did was we went into the lobby of the hotel, put some tables together and put out a spread of Marvel cards. And all of us are just sitting around the table, gossiping, talking about cards, talking about trades and, trying to do trades with Phil and Scandal, which is just the funniest thing to see those two trying to trade. That was entertainment in itself. That should have been like a pay-per-view thing to watch those guys go back and forth, which was just funny. And then everybody was at this thing and we text everybody. We're like, hey, we're at the hotel lobby. We're doing Marvel Trade Night here. So a swarm of people come in, maybe like an hour in, and we're there until like 1 a.m, talking cards, doing breaks, just like go cards back and forth. And the official trade night the next night was in the hotel lobby. So we just ended up going to the same table and put out all the cards and we just had everybody else there trading. So all these sports guys kept like looking over their shoulders like, oh, that's pretty. And everybody who came to, and this is the really cool takeaway thing is that everybody who looked at Marvel cards, it was just eye candy. You can tell that they were just like, damn, that looks good. That's really cool art. Like you could see that, yes, Marvel cards can exist in the sports world, but they're very different than the sports world. You know what I mean? They have something not more special. It's not a comparison. It's like, there's just a uniqueness there that I think brings out like the little kid and these guys who are older. Something other. Yeah. Other. But there was a magic there. It was a really cool moment to see people kind of like, damn, that looks cool. That sold for how much?
Some light bulb moments going on, yeah.
Yeah. It was nice. It was a really nice thing. It's weird. I don't, like everybody else, it is disheartening to see these cards be taken out of our hands, out of being collected because of prices, which I'm with you. Like I get that. Like I'm with everybody who's listening and feels that way. It's, it's a horrible feeling. But there is something in the air right now where I do see us coming back to that 90s feel where we are going to see promotion. We are going to see advertisements. We are going to see it being talked about, being traded about, you know what I mean? It's going to be in the ether again. And yeah, that's, part of that sucks, but part of that is kind of, man, we get to live through another Marvel era. You know what I mean? That's kind of cool, to have that experience one more time before, you know what I mean? It's kind of cool.
That is pretty cool. Now, so you had Saturday there. So was Saturday a full day? Like,
Sunday was half
start
day.
To finish.
Yeah. So Friday was half day because I got there like 1 or 2. Saturday was full day.
And you were there for the whole duration, or were you?
Whole duration.
I wasn't sure.
The show it's like Vegas. Like you're in a card show And it's like Vegas. It just flies by. There's no real recollection of anything. Time kind of vanishes. I had a really Phil and I were starving at one point. We went over to get food, and Phil was very brave and tried a hot dog, which was he was like, it's not the worst hot dog I've had. And I was like, man, your standard is low. And I had a pretzel, which was the worst pretzel I've ever had.
Can't stand pretzels, but yeah.
I like pretzels when they're really good, and they're not like, I don't know, man. Like
it just doesn't work for me.
Yeah, I get that. We did that. So it just flew by. Saturday flew by instantly. And it was very much casino-like thing because there's no windows, so you don't know what time it is.
Oh, so no daylight. Right, I'm with it.
Yeah, but you have basically like all these cards around you too. And you're just like card. You're like hunting for stuff. You're looking for stuff, which is really fun. So that time passed by pretty quickly. And then what happened Sunday? Oh God, I'm such an idiot. So I should have just slept in the hotel and then woke up and then taken the drive home. But like an idiot at 12 at night or 1 o'clock in the morning, I was kind of like, you know what? I'm going to have a late night drive. I'm going to surprise. I know, like an idiot. I'm going to surprise my wife in the morning. I'm going to bring her breakfast because she's been the best taking care of like our dog. Why when I had fun, she's so nice.
Wow.
I was like, I'm going to surprise her, blah, blah. And it was really funny. So I was in my hotel room and I said that to myself. I was like, you know what? I'm doing it. I packed all my stuff and I went to the door and I grabbed the hand. I was like, yeah, but I'm a little tired. I was like, maybe I should stay. No, I'll go. You know what? I'll stay. And I did that for 15, 20 minutes like an idiot. Got to the thing to check out. And the woman was standing there and she's like, you'll still have to pay for Sunday that you're checking out early because you didn't give us enough. I was like, it's fine. I'm going to go home and surprise my wife. And the lady went like, oh, that's so nice. And in my head, I was like, you're a badass. So that gave me the encouragement to go because I was just about to abort mission.
Yeah.
That was the scariest amount of driving I've ever done in my life. It was the worst. I had to do things in a hotel parking lot I was not proud of. I got late night McDonald's, which should not have kept me awake. What happened? I had to stay awake. Met some very nice truckers. No, it was just the worst driving. It was the worst. It was so scary.
The lavender handkerchief in your back pocket, that kind of thing.
Waving it down, really. Hey, boys. Let's stay awake. But you're disturbing. You got problems, man. I'm the one saying it.
Thank you.
No, it was fun. It was a good time. It was a crazy drive. I should not have done that drive. But other than that, the whole experience was awesome. I'm going to do it again. I'm going to go to nationals, which I know is just going to be insane. But again, it would just be to like meet people and like to take a walk around the show.
Yeah. So
I'm definitely going to do nationals. I got to figure something. I was talking to Ed Webb and talking to Matt Fuller.
Yes.
So I hope people are ready. There's something's going to happen sooner than later where we can figure this out.
Ed,
you know what I mean?
Ed, we need Ed's up for coming on. We just need to make it happen.
That'd be awesome.
Mainly because he's, where is he? Arizona, I think. Time zone.
Is that where he is?
Yeah, I think it's Arizona. So we just need to figure it out. But he's always awake in my morning times. I think he's a real late night owl anyway. So he'll probably just do it really late, wherever he is.
I'm up.
Yeah, I'm awake. Let's do it. Like you with your driving.
Let's do this.
So
what
time did you get home? What time did you like pull into your driveway?
6:30, 7 o'clock.
6:30, 7 o'clock. So no wonder we didn't record last week at 9 a.m. your time, because you were probably toes up. Yeah,
I was out. It was so funny because like it was, at one time I was like, it was this last hour. I was like, you know what, Ian's probably up. I should just like get him on the phone to keep me awake. But funny enough, Emily called me. My wife called me around that time, and she was like, I had a horrible night. What you doing? And I was like, she's like, you're not driving home, are you? I was like, no. She was like, you're crazy. But yeah.
That's hilarious. Oh, you still there? Have you turned your mic off?
I'm still here.
There we
I'm
go.
still here. There's some tape on a package next to me that I'm supposed to send to Brian. I found him a Star Wars card in the wild. It's the tape. I didn't want the tape to be on that. Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
Oh,
But yeah, that's pretty much the trip, man.
What a weekend.
It was intense.
It's kind of like, I can't, in my head, I didn't see much. Now, you said there was some live stuff on Instagram. I was looking, I didn't see it. So unless it was live and then it was gone and it wasn't on someone's feed, I didn't see
I'll send you a link. It's buried on there, but it's
okay.
there.
Because I saw 2 pictures of you guys out at dinner, like both the nights. I'm guessing the Friday night and the Saturday night. Yeah. And I'm there like, right, who's that? And someone on Facebook actually, or someone in the comments said, oh, it's such and such. And they clearly didn't know who it was. And they just made up names for everyone. And they got right. It was hilarious.
Who's who?
Yeah, it was quite funny. It was kind of one of these things where you kind of wanted one of those illustrations where it's just a cutout outline of them with a letter in each, and it says, right,
I love it.
That person, which made me laugh. So I was looking. It kind of because I only saw that, and I just kind of heard whispers in the group of what had been going on. In my head, it was like The Hangover. It was like, what's going on? It's like someone's ended up locked on the hotel roof. You got Tyson, you got Tiger, all that sort of stuff. I need you to watch that film.
That's so much fun. Yeah, sometimes it was like that. It was pretty crazy. It was pretty nuts, but yeah, it was fun. It was a good time for sure. It was
Atlanta, wasn't it? Yeah.
Yeah, it was Atlanta. Atlanta, which was a good show. It was a good show. It really was. So it was a fun time.
I've never been to a card show before. I've been to some cons in the UK that happen to have some cards there, but they're usually ones that have got like celebrities there and manga and cosplay, so they're much more rounded things. And weirdly, and I'm sure you probably get this in America, for a comic con, there's very few comics at most of the cons I've ever been to.
Yep.
I mean,
which is crazy.
And so at most you'd maybe get 1 or 2 card dealers, and then nothing modern. It's all older stuff. So mainly because you just can't get it over here, the modern stuff. But it was But I know that they happen all the time in the US for sports, and from little kind of small shows that are local with just like 12 tables to the big things with. Like,
I met up Richard, who's a buddy of mine who has just amazing pieces.
Oh, Richard D.
Richard D.
I'm not going to try and pronounce his surname.
I always mess it up.
There's a lot of syllables and quite a lot of letters that are repeated.
I mean, I feel his pain. My last name is massive, so I feel.
Well, your last name I can say. His last name I haven't got a clue.
He was in Charlotte, and he's been going to card shows, and I went with him a couple times when he first started doing it. Yeah, which was really fun to see those, but they were smaller and nothing really anything Marvel, maybe 1 or 2 things. Yeah. You know what I mean? Yeah. But this was
some Marvel Ages, wasn't it?
Yeah. That's it. That's when I did it.
Yeah.
So it was nice.
That's hilarious.
It's nice. Yeah. So they exist. They definitely exist. But what I'd like to do is arrange it where, like, I figured if, like, in the group or all of us kind of like figure out which one all of us want to go to, it would have tons of Marvel cards that everybody would be interested in. People can hold off on trades and buying and meet everybody.
If you build it, they will come, kind of thing. We talked about this. Do you remember a couple of years ago before COVID? I said, look, I really, really want to do it. And we talked about it, and it was kind of like buzzing with ideas. But then, the logistics of doing it from from afar, and also then COVID,
Yeah, no, COVID messed it all up. And the only reason, it was funny, I was the only one wearing a mask too, which was hilarious. At the show, everyone kind of looked at me funny because, like, it's Atlanta, Georgia, and they don't have the restriction on that, I don't think. And I'm vaccinated or whatever, but I still wanted to wear a mask just in case. But it's definitely, and everything is slowing down a little bit. So I think there is enough of a, like, like this stuff is starting to finally come down. So, it'd be nice. I think you and I will have to figure this out with the usual suspects and kind of get something going.
Definitely. Well, we've talked about this. I'm going to be in Boston in August for a few well, sure, I was going to say a few days, a week with fam. So I'll be around there, and I've already when we fly in, and my wife's coming out a week earlier, then I'm going to fly in. Then I've got a day in Boston, so I'm already meeting up with Pankit.
Yeah,
we've arranged that, so we're gonna hook up on that Saturday.
You got to tell me the date, because that way I can like.
Oh yeah. But no, that's what I'm saying. But I'm going to meet up Pankit. But then I'm going up to New Hampshire, and we're going to be there a week, and then we're coming back to Boston. So then we've got a week in Boston, like me with the fam.
Perfect.
Do you see what I mean? So yeah, that's your kind of window on that one, I guess.
That's going to be the window.
That'd be great. And but it'd be just nice to actually meet someone.
I know. No, we're going to make it happen.
I mean?
Yeah, no.
I can't wait.
We were so close to doing this before the pandemic. Like this was like the plan. You know what I mean? This was our plan was moving towards this beforehand, actually.
Yeah. No, it's exciting. I'm really glad you got to do that. That sounds like so much fun.
It was nice. I wish you were there, man. It was so funny. Like I was there and hanging out with her, and everybody was so nice and it was awesome. But in the back of my head, I was kind of like, man, I wish everybody was here.
Yeah,
this would be crazy. Like,
we want to share
Eugene, JD, Pankit, Grady Gamer, Brandon. Matt Fuller, Brandon. Oh, geez, Brandon. Everybody. Frank. I mean, it would have been Amanda. What a trip, man. Amanda would have been blessed. Like, like so many of us who are close, and everybody in the group too, who I'm friends with, it just, we're so lucky to, and that's the truth too. Like and this is again, I'm not trying to be too melancholy, but like, I feel really grateful to have these many connections in the hobby.
I don't think that's melancholy. Really, I think that's just, open and honest and emotive. But what I'd really like is if all of the people that you've just mentioned were there, plus more that we've not remembered.
Yeah.
And Joe Jusko rocks up and we just buy him drinks, get him really shit-faced, and he tells us lots of stories.
I think, that's going to happen, man.
Yeah.
That's really going to happen. And Joe, because
he wouldn't have to put his hand in his pocket, would he? I mean, we'd just be buying him drinks.
No, he'd be treated like a king.
Yeah.
Honestly, like, and Joe knows this, and Joe's always been so supportive of us and the group, and posting things in the group for group members to get, which has just been the nicest thing of him.
Oh, the books.
That's all this stuff's going to happen. Having Dave DeVries around.
Oh, Dave.
And
Dave's got such a wicked
sense of
humor.
Julie, Boris, Bianchi, if he's in the States at the time.
Dave Palumbo.
I think it'd be really Palumbo. My God, Palumbo. Dave would be a blast. I tell you what's really cool about this opening up is this weekend, as we talk, there's a show going on somewhere in America, and I wish I could be more specific, but I know it's Eastern because Michael Munshaw's there. Tim Shin is there, but and other artists, but Donnie Courtrider, who we had on before, who writes for Hipsters of the Coast and his big magic guy who's coming to Marvel with MM 2020. Donnie's a lovely guy, really good mate. He's helped super
me out
nice,
super nice person. Guy, really nice guy. He's getting married this year.
Whoa!
He took a trip down, so I haven't had. He hasn't kind of reported back in yet. So for all I know, he got absolutely wasted, and he's only just coming to it right now. But he went out to dinner last night with Mr. Munshaw, the great Munshaw, as I now call him.
I love Munshaw
and his beloved. So yeah, I said, do send my love and have a drink on me. So yeah, so it's nice that people are connecting in real, in person. That's what I really dig. I really like that that's now happening, and people are starting to, do what they can to do that. And obviously, I think it would have happened before now. We were so close. Like, I feel like you and I, especially the conversations you and I are having, like right before COVID, we were like this close to really arranging things. But I think the fact that we've gotten to what I find interesting is that for a lot of people I've spoken to, whatever the social circumstance, and I'm not talking about just shows, I'm talking about whatever it is, like I had the first in 2 years work event with people that I work with, and like an evening company drinks thing, where it was just like an open bar and really nice pizzas and stuff like that. And so many people hadn't done that for such a long time. It was a bigger thing than it normally would have been. Everyone was really up for it. Everyone was really looking forward to it. Everyone got absolutely twatted. It was brilliant.
I love it.
And I know you're not a drinker apart from the occasional pina colada, but still, it was
pina coladas.
I can't imagine. Was it? Obviously, I can't imagine you'd been putting away a few, but were some of the fellas like having a drink and getting a bit.
I think it was weird because it wasn't like a super long show, so not a lot of us like settled in. You know what I mean? Like, and most of the guys I was there with like actually like sell and trade at card shows. I was really there for like social stuff. I think Stacking Gems and I were kind of like Charles and I were there to like hang out, with people. And Charles had a case too. Fire, crazy cards. I don't know how that guy did it, man. Like so many of these guys have collected on a level that I thought I was fast as the surfer and they just flew. It's really cool to see that. And then like Steven Scandell is like old school. You know what I mean? He's been around for a while, Jim Lee autos and stuff like that, just kind of been on the DL. So that was kind of cool to see him and you know what I mean? To see an OG, but like, it was more like, I don't really drink. Like usually when I go to a restaurant and my wife and I get drinks, they always try to give my wife my drinks because my drinks are fruity, umbrella, curvy straw.
Yours are like. Do you have the expression in America, one of your 5 a day? Do you have that
yes.
in America? Yeah. So basically the drinks that you order have got 5 of your 5 a day floating in them.
Yes.
Right.
Yeah. No, it's really girly drinks, which I love. It's just it's so easy. It's just funny. But so I didn't, it was actually like a show. So people were there to like, it ended up being more pleasantries and social because we'd never done it before. So it was really a blast and we had dinner and, we had fun, but there wasn't tons of like drinking. I do think that the next show with more of us there will get out of hand.
Yeah.
Because I think people would be really funny.
Well, especially if
really
I'm there.
Crazy.
Yeah.
Oh man, God. Yeah. You leading the pack. I can see us. See us like
if I tie one on, it gets carnage. It's carnage.
Yeah.
I mean, but the thing
I can see things happening.
It does completely write me off the following
Banned
day.
from certain states. Yeah. I like it. I'm down for that. Yeah. I'm ready for that adventure. Yeah. But no, it was actually kind of chill. Super chill. Wasn't crazy.
Well, I mentioned in passing Richard D, and I said his surname sounded Greek, which gave me an idea. So at the opening of this episode, we haven't spoken about this young man in a long time. Achilleas Kokkinakis will be the intro for this episode.
Awesome.
Because he's a lovely man and he's a bloody brilliant artist. And I haven't seen him on some Marvel stuff of late because he seems to have been focused on his creator-owned stuff. So you can find him. A lot of the stuff he's been working on his website, iconiccreations.com, but it's iconic and the C of iconic is the first C of creation. So it's not iconic and then the word creations joined together, if that makes sense. Anyway, it'll be in the tasting notes. It'll be in the tasting notes. But yes, a sketch card artist of some incredible stature in the Marvel world. And everything he does is brilliant. So he's been in some of the Perna sets of late as well.
God, he does such good work everywhere.
I love his stuff.
It's insane to see that work.
We need to get him on.
I know.
But I was looking at his Iconic Creations website. It doesn't look like it's been touched since the summer, so hopefully he's okay. Because his Facebook page on Facebook, for now, hasn't been updated since July 2020. So, Achilleas, I hope you're all right, sir. And that's probably just because you're busy arting rather than social mediaing, which is probably as it should be.
As it should be,
I'm guessing. Good, mate. You've had the best time. It's good to know that you've been.
It was nice. I wish all of you guys were there.
It's good to know that you've been out there and actually doing what we've always said people should do, which is
enjoy collecting.
Thanks for listening to the Marvel Card Collectors Podcast. Visuals and tasting notes for each episode can be found on our Facebook page. You can subscribe and leave us a voicemail via our home on anchor.fm/MCCP. We're also on iTunes, Spotify, and all major podcast platforms. Please take a second to subscribe, like, and review our show wherever you get your podcasts. Our podcast can be found by Googling at the MCC Pod, which will also find us on Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, and Instagram. Our Facebook community is at MCCW, Marvel Card Collectors Worldwide, and MMC, Marvel Masterpieces Collectors. The great music we use is called Rocket Power by Kevin MacLeod. Thanks to the collectors, artists, and creators who support the Marvel Cards Fan Collective. We'll see you next time, and remember, it's a small hobby but a fun one. Make mine Marvel and enjoy collecting.
Consider yourself our mate. We don't want to have no fuss, for after some consideration we can stay. Consider yourself one of us. Consider yourself at home. Consider yourself one of the family. We've taken to you so strong.